What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and I just got my new iPad. You're probably wondering which one. It's the new iPad, the 9.7-inch iPad. Not ringing a bell. Apple decided to simplify the name up, and it's gonna confuse more people before it actually makes sense. But basically, they're simplifying the lineup. This is the budget end model. Let's take a look at how it compares to the iPad Pro. They're about $150 off. So let's see if $150 is better spent on the iPad Pro, or if this thing is pretty capable as is. Now, the very first thing you'll notice out of the box is that this thing is pretty beefy. Not only is it heavier, it's thicker now too. Essentially, it's using the iPad Air 1 chassis. It's exactly the same in almost every single way. So Apple is doing a lot of recycling here to save money and hand down those savings to you through this product. They're also using a budget display, so it's not laminated with the LCD, and it's certainly noticeable, as you can see the depth between the top layer and the LCD. There's definitely a reason that this thing costs $329. I mean, you're getting a lot for your money, but they had to save somewhere. So let's get to using this thing. Out of the box, it does come with iOS 10.3, which I was a little surprised to see, and using it, it's actually surprisingly responsive. I was amazed at how close it was in performance to the iPad Pro, just launching animations, system apps and stuff, but then again, iOS 10.3 sped those things up altogether, so, you know, it's quite capable. Using this thing, I did like the performance. There wasn't anything I did not. So let's get some numbers cooking here. This iPad uses the Apple A9, and I wanted to see how this CPU compares to the A9X series in the iPad Pro. So, I was astonished actually. This thing is so close in terms of performance. There's what, like a 15 to 20% difference max. The single core was only 500 points behind, and the multi was only about 700. That is amazing. For $150 less, it's pretty dang close when it comes to the numbers. So let's check out that GPU. So to get a benchmark for the GPU, I am using Antutu. Now for most people that are power users, the difference between the Pro and this series isn't that big. There's about a 30 to 35% difference in the GPU power. So this thing is surprisingly capable. It has surprised me. For $170 less, you aren't getting that much worse performance. Now going to the Touch ID, this is Generation 1 Touch ID, so obviously it's going to be slower, but it did surprise me. Initially, it was just about as fast as the new iPad Pro, but then it started showing that it's not as accurate and it is a little bit slower. Repeating the same tests with the display off showed me basically it is slower as it is a generation behind. Now this is one of those things that I could let slide. Touch ID isn't that big of a deal. Now with the iPhone 7 for me it was because of the water resistance. It was more accurate where it was wet, but with the iPads you're not even going to be unlocking it that many times, so what does it matter? Moving on to the cameras. So I've got the new iPad, don't even know what to call it, just iPad on the left and the iPad Pro 9.7-inch on the right. So immediately I can tell that the colors seem to be a little bit juicier as it is 12 megapixel. There's some extra detail in there. Check out my cocks. No, actually we don't have any roosters right now. But yeah, definitely much more detail as the iPad is only capable of 1080p here. So moving on, there's some glare there. Definitely more capable. What? The shutter issue is present on the new iPad or no? Oh, I thought I just saw that. No, it's not too bad. And front-facing cameras, so it's a little hard to hold. These are heavy. But there you go, little spin around for you. So in a nutshell, there's the 2017 iPad. Sure, the iPad Pro has that 4-speaker setup that's to die for, extra colors, it's a lot faster, it's got True Tone display, and a lot of extra cool things that you don't essentially need if you just want an iPad. What is an iPad for? Just to browse some comics, read some books, browse the internet, occasionally take pictures if you're a mom or dad or something like that. But this one does everything you need in an iPad. So I gotta say it totally makes sense. Gotta give it my approval. For the price tag, this does iPad quite well.